Welcome to the not the X-Files, it's welcome to the F-Files.
The F stands for Frank, not fuck.
The F stands for Frank, because it's me, Julia, and...
Frankie, your other host.
So, what is this podcast? Frank, you'll care to explain?
Sure. So, bestie Julia and I, for context, we're best friends. We've always joked about having a podcast, and because we always have like really funny conversations with each other. I tend to come up with some weird unhinged concept, and then Julia has to rationally explain to me why something wouldn't work. So we thought, like, why not have a podcast? And we also both love the X-Files, and this is obviously a direct rip-off of the name.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought, why not have our own show where we talk about, like, unexplained, like, mysteries. I personally am a believer of that stuff. I do think there's a lot of really weird shit that can't be explained through science.
My stance on the paranormal is more of like I'm a very like scientifically minded person. I'm going into healthcare. We're both students, by the way. We're both like college students, but my stance towards the paranormal is more of, you know, if it's out there, it's out there. I'm not bothering anything. I don't really like have ever really think I've seen proof that there's like ghosts or anything like that. But you know, if they're there, they're there. I wouldn't bother them. You'll never catch me doing like a Ouija board or anything like that. But I haven't seen like conclusive like proof. But maybe that'll change in the F-Files.
Perhaps. Yeah, I believe in anything. If you told me there's a flying spaghetti monster, I'd be like, hey, nothing's out of like the playing field, you know? Like, I think there's a possibility for anything. I can believe in some pretty like far-fetched ideas. But the main point of this podcast is to talk about, you know, potential paranormal mysteries, also folklore and mythology. I am actually a history major, and an education major, so for anybody thinking that it is a wasted degree, trust me, I am going into the education field, so it's not completely wasted, but I love talking about culture, and I'm a cultural historian, so folklore and mythology is kind of right up my alley, and we just thought it would be neato to talk about that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, it gives us a chance to spend time together as best friends.
Mm-hmm. And potentially some monetary value to go with it.
Yeah, that is true. School is expensive.
School's very expensive.
Life is very expensive.
Yeah, I have 2 jobs, and I'm so close to killing myself, but, like, you know, maybe I'll only have 1 job, and I'll be podcasting.
Please support our podcast. Sponsor us.
Just give us money.
Give us money.
We should come up with merch. Smash your pass, but it's a cryptid shirt. That would be kind of
that
fire.
Would be fire.
That'd be fire,
we first need money to manufacture merch.
We also need a fan base. We don't have. Anyway. So what is all the shit that we were discussing? Folklore. Let's start with that. So folklore. It's basically like customs, beliefs, stories, myths, etc. And it's usually typically with a community of people. So there's like folklore in Japan, or there's like Irish folklore. Stuff like that tends to be like associated with like a specific community or culture, and it's passed down through like word of mouth. So being a folklorist is an actual profession as well. It's a branch of anthropology. So that's cool. I actually wanted to be a folklorist.
And you would be a great one. This is all
gassing me up.
No, because I'm serious. Like the brains behind this podcast really is Frank. Because I'm gonna be learning almost as much as you guys along this journey.
Yeah, I just love freaky shit, man. But yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a folklorist. I used to watch the show. There was these 2 shows. I think it was like Destination Truth and Expedition Unknown. I don't know. I always get those 2 mixed up. But Josh Gates, I don't even think he's like a real historian or anything. Like, I think he just got his degree in acting, and like they just put him on a show. But I used to watch his show as a kid, and I was like, wow, I want to do that. Because he would just go to like different countries and learn about the history and like the culture and why this specific like being or whatever was haunting this place or terrorizing this place. So
I mean, if this podcast gets big enough, maybe you will also be on the History Channel.
Maybe. I want to be on the History Channel, but like not during prime time, during like 2 a.m. when I'm talking about how like space aliens created Bigfoot for some CIA operation. That's the type of History Channel I want to be on. And so folklore is not to be confused with mythology, because mythology is a collection of myths, typically more of like religious things. So like think of like the pantheon, or even like the Abrahamic religions. There's a lot of mythos that go into that. Technically, most of the Bible it's just Christian mythology. I'm a Catholic, so I'm not saying this to discredit any religions, because mythology is not to be confused with like myth or fact. Like myths aren't inherently false or untrue, they're just kind of like stories passed down of a religious nature. Also the paranormal, so the paranormal is just any events or phenomena that cannot be explained through conventional science or kind of like rational thinking. It's basically anything like outside of the realm of science, so like, you know, people being able to lift objects up with their mind and shit like that.
Nice. Thanks for that explanation, Spring. I straight up did not know a lot of those distinctions. So again, news to me, but very excited to learn.
You sound like a news reporter that's like interviewing someone. They're like, "Wow, thanks. That's so interesting."
Yeah, no. I am genuinely fascinated, and we probably would not be friends if I was not genuinely fascinated in everything you have ever told me about history and folklore and mythology.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty unhinged person sometimes, and I feel like that's really what made our friendship solid.
Oh, 100%.
Because I feel like you're constantly trying to put out my fires, you know what I mean? Like, I just say something, I'm like, oh my god, and you have to, like, fix it, you know
I put out your fires, but I never dull your spark.
That's so true. Put that on the shirt right there.
No, that's
a Hallmark card.
Yeah, that'll be our first merch.
Yeah. So I thought that our first case, a fun, like, first case that we could talk about, are the infamous, or famous, depending on how you view them, Men in Black. Not to be confused with the hit movies with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, where Will Smith gritties with a bunch of aliens. Have you seen the music video to that?
No.
Yeah, he had like a music video for Men in Black, and he literally is just like dancing with a bunch of aliens.
Oh no, I've seen Men in Black. I did not know about this music video.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll watch that after.
We'll watch that after.
We'll link it in the description.
Yeah, we'll link it in our resources. No, but yeah, I think he made, I'm pretty sure, I hope I'm not like getting this. Sometimes I just have like really bad memory and I just kind of make stuff up and I think it's like fact.
No, I'm sure.
I just straight up lie to people a lot.
It's been years since I've seen the movie Men in Black, but I mean, I'm assuming they got the title from somewhere, which is what we're going to be talking about today.
So the Men in Black, there's a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding them. I have my own theories surrounding them, but they basically appear after strange shit happens. And there's theories as to like who they are. Maybe they're government agents, maybe they're aliens, maybe they're human-alien hybrids. There's a lot of talk about that. But they have, like, really grotesque features, and grotesque, not, like, they don't look like mutants, but they just look, it's more like the Uncanny Valley, where they just look so weird, it's, like, unsettling to look at. So they're typically, like, really tall and kind of lanky, pale. They have weird robot-like features, so they kind of look, like, the same. Like, they look like they just got produced out of, like, the Mattel. Like, out of some, like, Mattel factory line. And they tend to have, like, a robotic tone when they talk, and they typically don't have hair, or if they do, it looks like a wig, and even their lips are reported to be, like, almost painted on with, like, a lipstick, like, it's, like, really weird. They're just really weird-looking things. They're
No disrespect to bald people, though.
Yeah, no disrespect.
Killing a bald people.
We're not trying to say tall bald men with lipstick are grotesque looking. We're just saying these particular bald, tall, grotesque men with lipstick are just weird. You know what I mean? But no generalizations here.
So I'm assuming that they're also mostly seen wearing black suits.
Yes, they're seen wearing like these, basically like the Men in Black in the movies.
Yeah.
Like suits. Also, they tend to be wearing hats. I notice a lot. A lot of their depictions, they wear like these black like hats, like they look straight out of like the 1950s.
Like a bowler hat type situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I don't know what a bowler hat is, to be completely honest. I'm really bad at fashion. Anyway, I'm just gonna assume
we'll
it's
link a picture of it below.
So, you want some more information on this? I know, like, before they branched off to do their own channel, The Watcher, Ryan and Shane did,
BuzzFeed Unsolved.
yeah, BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Don't copyright us. BuzzFeed Unsolved TM.
Yeah, where they talked about the Men in Black. Well, they actually have their own show now called The Ghost Files.
TM. On copyright.
Yeah. The F Files is trademarked by me. But anyway. But yeah, they're just like really weird, and they appear after like strange like paranormal events happen. So after like UFOs or just some weird lights in the sky, just some weird shit happens, and then these men appear. Their popularity grew after like Roswell, after the incident in Roswell. That's when a lot of people started seeing them. And they basically like threaten people. Like their whole vibe is like they go in and they threaten people, like, don't say anything, don't talk about what you just saw, or we're gonna harm you. And
so people remember their interactions with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but they usually don't talk about it.
Okay.
Because they're scared. So a lot of these confessions are from... That's my cat. That kind of scared me, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We have this spooky aesthetic. We have this, like, LED, like, old-timey candle.
We're sitting in the dark.
We're sitting in the dark.
With Frank's cat scratching around.
It's my cat, Cleocatra. So if you hear her in the background, she's not a threat, I promise. But yeah, so basically, like, they're just these really threatening human beings, and most people don't talk about it.
If they are human. ... I'm gonna edit it as a sound bite. That's gonna be like, don't.
Yeah. So yeah, they're just kind of weird, and I have a photo here. I'm showing Bestie Julia right now.
We'll link it below.
Yeah. Like with all of our other resources. So yeah, this is kind of like what they look like. They always come in pairs. They usually come in 2 to 3, never like a singular man in black. It's always the men in black. So they're not super often seen, but they're seen enough where, you know, people have concerns.
It's become a pattern.
Yeah. Dan Aykroyd, famed actor Dan Aykroyd, who can be a bit out there, but he has a lot of experience with like ghosts and weird shit.
Okay,
that's his vibe. He does love that. He has claimed to have a potential encounter with the Men in Black. He was making a show that was trying to like disclose all of, like the UFO stuff and like Roswell and all these government officials, and he said one day he was talking to Britney Spears on the phone.
Okay, Queen.
she wanted him to host SNL with her, and he was like on the conversation. He was like talking to Britney, and he was like, "Yeah, Britney, I'd love to go on SNL." Blah, blah, blah. You know, and then he looked, and there was this tall, lanky, pale, bald man, like, you know, all the characteristics of a Man in Black. Got out of like this old car. And like gave him like shot down this dirty look at him, and then he turned around, and then by the time he turned back, the car was gone, but like the car had vanished, like not like the car had driven off, like the car had vanished. I guess Dan Aykroyd is also like on a street where like if the car were to take a U-turn or were to turn, he would have seen it, like it was a small street, so he's like, no, that car just straight up vanished.
So if they have teleportation powers, why would they need a car?
I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to be dripped out, Julia.
No, that's fair.
In a drippy ass car makes it more ominous.
Of course.
But yeah, in recent years, though, they kind of have like a positive view because of the movies, The Men in Black. And there's just a lot of theories surrounding them, like who are they, what are they, are they of this world, are they some weird human-alien hybrid, do they have, oh, that's another characteristic, apparently they have like really wide eyes, like they just have like weirdly shaped big-ass eyes. I have theories about them. I think that they're kind of like a cleanup crew.
Okay.
So I think when certain, because they don't come around after every single UFO event, and so my theory is that if they're really like some weird shit, like some weird government thing, I think that when certain aliens come to Earth and they crash or do their thing, then they're like, oh shit, we gotta.
So they like know which ones are like the ones to be worried about.
Well, not that. It's just like, because like if aliens are coming to Earth. Do you think there's, like, one type of alien? There's probably, like...
No. This is to clarify, even though I am largely skeptical, I 100% believe in aliens, because, again, scientifically and statistically, I think it's impossible for us to be the only ones that are occupying this galaxy, this universe, whatever. So I 100% believe that there are aliens and that they might have come to Earth.
Yeah. And I think that there are probably different types of aliens.
Of course, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so what if they're, like, a specific brand of aliens, like cleanup crew guys, or like, ah, shit, the fucking green guys just crashed again, or they just abducted someone, but, like, everybody saw them, like, we gotta clean this up kind of thing. That's why they're only seen after certain ones and not other ones.
But you think that the Men in Black themselves are humans?
I don't know.
Okay.
They could be, like... There's certain things I've heard about them that they have some weird powers. They're probably, like... Maybe they are just robots that, like, aliens made to be their cleanup crew. You know? Maybe they are, like, some weird thing that the U.S. government and aliens have. Who knows?
They have, like, a collaboration.
Yeah.
it's USA X alien.
And they came up with the Men in Black to dissuade people from speaking out. Who knows? There's a lot of theories about them. I think it's very creepy that, like, these tall, lanky men just coming to visit you, being like, hey, shut up.
So, one thing that Frank and I share is a distrust, a skepticism in the U.S. government. Historically, especially, like, I mean, I don't want to, like, get myself in trouble here, but the government has had a history of, you know, covering things up, doing some shady things. So, from what I'm hearing, my theory, I would be fully in belief that these are people either manufactured, like, robots, or people from the government who are, like you said, like a cleanup crew. And either they're like robots, or I honestly wouldn't put it past certain agencies in the government to be like growing people, you know?
Little test tube babies.
No, because they all like look the same, you know what I mean?
That is true. Or even if they're like from the government, what if they just put them all in the same costume to like throw off the set of people?
Yeah, they put them in like it's like a biomedically engineered Party City morph suit.
Party City morph suit. And but when you think about it though, because then like they can't be recognized out in public.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or even better, they have some sort of technology that changes the way that we perceive them. Like
Clark Kent with the glasses. When he puts the glasses on, he's like this fat, stubby little man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Because vision is just like your eyes can trick you. So like, what if they have like some sort of technology that that changes the way that that they're perceived, so that they just look like these ominous like figures.
Essentially, but then like what about security cameras?
Yeah, you're right.
Or maybe it's like some weird aura shit, you know?
Yeah, like I'm talking like a Harry Potter invisibility cloak type situation.
Oh, okay. I've only watched Harry Potter because Julia forced me to watch
I did not.
Harry Potter.
Okay, I did not force her to watch Harry Potter.
No, you kind of did.
I am a big Harry Potter fan.
No, she kind of forced me to watch all of them.
And
She threatened my family.
I did not. You had been seeing a lot of Harry Potter TikToks, and you were like, I should probably watch the movie.
No, what happened was I don't understand this reference, and I would send her like this Harry Potter TikTok, and she's like, watch all 8 Harry Potter movies before this day, or I'm gonna burn your house down.
Oh my, that did not happen.
That's exactly how it happened.
She likes to tell people this. But I look like the bad guy.
No, she definitely forced me to watch all of it. It was like, I don't know if you've ever seen The Clockwork Orange where they forced the guy's eyes open.
Oh my god.
That is exactly what happened.
That's not what happened.
And we're back.
And we're back. A little technical difficulty on our part.
I think we were just talking about how you strapped me down and forced my eyes open to watch all the Harry Potter movies against my will.
Again, for legal purposes, I want to stress that did not happen.
For legal purposes, I want to stress that is exactly how it felt, because that's exactly what happened.
Why haven't you sued me? Anyway, my most probable theory for the Men in Black is that they're some sort of like government test tube babies or robots, and I, as someone who does believe in aliens, I wouldn't put it past the government to be hiding stuff like that. But then that brings me to one of my favorite movies of all time, which is E.T. And I feel like in E.T., like I feel like they could have delved a little bit more into like the government cover up afterwards, because there's like, at this point, not only does Elliot and his family know about E.T., but they also like, they've got all of his like brother's friends and like the little sister who's like, you know, like a child. Like I don't know. I wonder what they did in E.T., but it was probably the Men in Black, you know.
Probably just killed them all.
You think so?
Maybe, but I've never seen E.T.
Oh my, we're watching it after this.
Oh no, I don't want to watch E.T.
Why haven't you ever seen it? I feel like it's like a movie that you'd watch. It's like,
I don't know.
It's a classic.
No, because he's like too nice as an alien. I like fucked up alien movies. Like one of my favorite horror movies is The Thing. Ironically, released like the same like week, or released around the same time as E.T.
Mm-hmm.
And it was box office flop because of it.
Well, the thing that... Oh,
so
yeah.
E.T. robbed one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I mean, it is much more, like, family-friendly, but I watched E.T. a lot as a child, and it terrified me. I was genuinely scared. Not because of E.T. himself, because he is a cute alien, but there's, like, spoiler alert, but the movie's been out for, like...
yeah, I know.
for so long, but... There's a scene where he gets like sick because he's been away from his home planet for so long, so he gets like, sick and he gets all like pale and white and like it's like really gross. And
does he look like a dog turd?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does actually. And I just used to have nightmares because it was just so gross.
Okay, but you had nightmares about weird shit.
I used to have nightmares. I used to get nightmares from The Mask too, like the Mask movie.
I love The Mask.
I do love it. Is such a good movie, but I used to get nightmares from that. Voldemort from Harry Potter.
Really?
The Gestapo.
Well, that one is funny though. The Gestapo.
The Gestapo. Oh, so for context, I'm like first generation Polish immigrant. Obviously have a history with World War II. And I think epigenetically my ancestors like cursed me to have, as I would have recurring nightmares as a child, that there's a Gestapo man just standing in my room and he'd just be staring at me and you'd be saying like Glockenspiel, 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 which for context is the German word for like xylophone.
That kills me.
But that's the thing. But going back to the topic of this episode is that that man, the Gestapo man that would look at me, kind of looked like a Men in Black type of figure, you know?
That's strange.
Because he'd be dressed like they would dress kind of like, you know, like all black and white, like suits kind of situation.
The Gestapo?
Well, you know, like they had like their trench coats or whatnot.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, they were kind of drippy though.
The Gestapo man that would show up in my dreams was like in like a black trench coat and like a hat.
Hold on, Gestapo.
And like the tall boots.
Well, this is how Gestapo officers tended to...
We're gonna link a picture.
Oh, that is creepy.
No, not that. It was more of like you know, like I'm
that?
Yeah, like with the trench coat, with the trench coat specifically.
Okay, no, hold on. There's a reason why like all of the Reich uniforms were all drippy, and it was because this like fashion. Hold on, which I gotta look that up. It's gonna kill me. There's like a fashion designer in France. And he designed like all of the SS uniforms, and that's why like all of the SS uniforms are like kind of dripped out. Hugo Boss company.
Hugo Boss?
Yeah, actual Hugo Boss. I'm not
like the Hugo Boss.
I'm not joking. Yeah, Hugo Boss. So yeah, Hugo Boss designed like the SS and the Nazi uniforms and stuff. That's why they're like all kind of dripped out.
That's kind of crazy to me because I mean people like. It's like a luxury brand now. Like people will wear like Hugo Boss now. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I learned that fact. I thought he was a French designer, but no, I guess it's just Hugo Boss. But yeah, so every time if any of you guys are rich and you wear Hugo Boss, just know Nazis could have been wearing that. So.
And with that,
we come to the conclusion of episode 1. Thank you guys for joining us. If there's anything you would like us to talk about, any cryptids, any mythos, folklore, whatever, conspiracy theories, let us know. We don't have any concrete platforms yet that we're on. Probably like YouTube.
We'll probably start on YouTube so you could tell
maybe
us in the
Apple Podcast.
Yeah, tell us in the comments and subscribe.
Smash that like button.
And we'll work on our marketing and platforming and all of that. But
we'll come up with the Smasher Pass T-shirts.
Yeah.
Right for Christmas.
Maybe a Patreon.
Patreon, yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening to our first episode, and we'll see you whenever we record the next one.
Whenever we have time and remember to record the next one. Toodles!
Bye. What was up?
That would be funny though if we did like a Smasher Pass but for cryptids.
That we can start including that. That'll be a later segment.
Mothman, smash.
Oh, absolutely. Bigfoot, smash.
The Hat Man when I take too much Benadryl.
The Invisible Man, not so much.
No,
because I can't see him.
Yeah, I don't know what
he could be a pass.
Yeah, he could definitely be a pass. He could be like really ugly.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man's actually just like really fat, and that's why he's invisible.
Oh.
That's tragic.
That was really tragic.